Joséphine, Allan, great to see you both. How's it going? Good to see you both.
Great to see you too. How are you?
Pretty good. Allan, you're getting up the leaderboard now. I think this is our 4th or 5th time chatting. It's crazy.
I know. I'm delighted. I love every minute of it.
No, I really I love this show. I'm excited for people to get back into Saint-Pierre. Joséphine, this is the first time we're chatting. We didn't chat for season 1, but I'm interested because season 1s are interesting because like it's equal playing field for everyone, right? Like you've never played this character before. We've never seen these characters. You go to a season 2, it's a little bit of like, okay, picking up where we left off, but we know this character. What did it feel like for you kind of returning for season 2? Did you feel like you knew this character? Were you still learning? What was that like for you?
Oh my God, I know her so well. She's me, I'm her. Like we're just, and I love her so much. I was so excited to get to know her even better. Because I knew this season would be a bit different because I asked Allan if I could just, this season, because he asked me last year, what would you want to see in your character? And I was like, I want to see her more vulnerable because she's always so strong and she never really shows her emotions. And, so I want to see that side of her. And my dream came true because obviously this year she's going to be challenged in so many ways. She's going to have to question her entire life and what's my purpose in life and what am I doing here? And am I really the person I think I am? And, with her finding out that Gallagher is her father, yeah. I also see that, so don't make fun of me, but I have a metaphor. I have thought about that. When you drive a manual car, which I don't because I only drive automatic, but I know it's very hard. It feels like for her, it's like playing between the clutch and the accelerator, between like what is wrong, what is right. Like Gallagher is a criminal, but he's also my father. Yeah. There's trying to find the right balance between these two things. And it's going to be very challenging for her this year. I really like that about.
That's a great metaphor.
Yeah, that's a great metaphor. I don't know why we wouldn't laugh
thought about it.
That was excellent.
No, because I don't drive manual. I drive automatic. So, like, who am I to talk about that?
It's something cool when the clutch goes in. The car is rendered neutral. So if your clutch is in all the way, you can't accelerate. You can only accelerate by push and pull.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Find the right balance, find the wrong.
To kind of add to that a little bit, Allan, I just wanted to know because, the filmmaking questions are coming now because, that's all I think about these days. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm wondering, like Joséphine said, there's different things that happen with certain characters in the new season of Saint-Pierre, but then there's the overall kind of storylines and certain things that happen in one episode and then we don't hear from it until a couple episodes. I'm wondering, how do you kind of prepare for, like, your character's kind of arc and journey, and then everything else that kind of happens as a whole in the show that might not have to do with your character as much? Does it feel like two separate kind of preparations, or does it feel like overall one kind of big preparation for Saint-Pierre, if you know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a cheat sheet because Robina and I plan all of those things, and our writers, and so I've got and I find as an actor, it's really helpful to have sort of steeped all of the world, all of the thoughts, all of the character stuff is like, by the time we get to prep, or certainly by the time we get to camera, I mean, there's no more prep an actor could do than what Robina and I write or rewrite every script 5 times over with our writers from the break right to, and then, so the time I show up to work, as an actor, it's like I can throw it all on the ground and just start with my co-stars and with Joséphine and just be like, no pre-plan because you're so prepared. It's it's really incredible. Like, it seems like it would be counterintuitive to have that much to do before starting work as an actor, but it really is like insanely amazing prep work. Well, so like, I don't think about that in that way. I just kind of try to live in it, be with my actors, my fellow actors, be with Joséphine, and try to be as truthful as possible in each moment and let the story kind of carry it.
Well, Joséphine, I'm wondering what you think about this too. I feel like once you get there, like, day one of filming, I feel like at some point you've done all the prep you can do and you kind of just have to let go and just do your thing a little bit, right? Like, I feel like you can't really think about preparation or certain things. I think once you get there, it's like, okay, we're ready to roll, ready to rock, right? Does it feel like that specifically? Does it feel like you have to just let go and do your thing?
Yeah, season one was very challenging for me, and I had a panic attack before the first day of filming because of the pressure of not disappointing and all like, am I strong enough to carry this character through an entire season? And maybe they will regret their choice. You know, it's I think every actor go through that kind of phase in their life. Yeah, and we should, but was very intense. Like I cried the entire day. Anyways, season two was way different because now we know. I mean, the show is successful, and I know what I'm doing and everything, but also. I was like, and I talked to Erica and Jean-Michel and Benz, and also to some like of the crew because now we know what we're doing. We're very comfortable, but we don't want to get too comfortable because otherwise it's like another day at the office. Not that there's anything wrong at working at the office, but you know, this is not what our job is all about. Every day is different, and I never want to be like, okay, I know her now. I know how she stands. I know how she moves, how she talks. I don't have to make any more effort to make this even better. So that was a huge concern. I was like, okay, I'm happy we're back. We know what we're doing, but just stay alert that this season 2 has to be better than season 1 and on and on. So,
well, I think that's that's a perfect segue into my question for you, Allan. You both are professionals. It's like, you know what I'm going to ask. I love this. It's like, I mean, that whenever you have a season 2 or a sequel or like something new, there's always, how are we going to make it bigger? How are we going to make it better? And what I mean by bigger, not maybe by the scale or anything, but bigger with like the storylines and reveals and certain things. What is your kind of mindset? You can answer this from a creative perspective. You can answer this from an acting perspective. But it's like, when you know you're coming back for a season 2, what are those preliminary thoughts, Allan, about like how we can make it bigger, how we can make it better?
Story, right? You try to find what's the most interesting story you can tell. What's the while serving the characters that exist, and what's the most interesting place and challenging place you can put those characters. What is the most visually inspired place? What about Saint-Pierre, the character, can we explore? Like, you go through all of these different things, and like at the end of the day too, it's like, how do you keep the people in their seats? It's like, you give them compelling plot, and you try to give them, a compelling story that also, like, visually our show has a whole other angle to it where it's like just gorgeous, The island is beautiful. It's about showing that beauty just juxtaposed with the brutality of the crimes that we're solving. It's a fun dance.
Absolutely. And then a couple more quick questions before we wrap up as well. I do find it interesting because you bring up kind of the story and everything. And I want to ask Joséphine this, but then Allan, I would love you to kind of chime in as well. Your answer might be a bit different because, of the creative perspective and everything. But I find it interesting because there are so many different ways we kind of consume and watch content, specifically TV. And I find it interesting where we have this day and age where they drop all these episodes at once on certain networks, and then you binge them all, and then it's done, and then you have to wait a whole year or two to watch them. But then you have this kind of week-to-week traditional drop, right? Like with Saint-Pierre, where it's like you get to have those kind of conversations at the dinner tables about theories and characters and arcs, what you like, what to look forward to. So I'm wondering, like, given what I just said, when are you kind of conscious of the audience watching the media you are producing? Do you think about it at all while you're on production for Saint-Pierre, or is that something that happens afterwards, Joséphine?
Oh, you don't want to think about that. Yeah. No. Otherwise, like, it's get into your head, and you're like, because we know we're doing this for the people, and also because we love doing it. It's just, we're very passionate. So sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I hope people are gonna like it, because as much as we do, but not really. Not until it's actually released. And then you get all the feedback. Like, I'm very active on my social media, and I talk a lot with the people. And I receive a lot of DMs and like, oh, we watch the show. I love your show, blah, 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 blah. This is, or when people stop you in the street and congratulate you for the show, and they tell you how much they love it. And my mother is watching it, my grandmother, and blah, blah, blah. And suddenly you realize that people are actually watching what you've been doing for months. And it's a beautiful reward. Like, I love to communicate with the people, because we do this for them. We're telling stories to them. So having good feedback is the greatest reward ever.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Allan, I feel like producer or writer Allan has to think about the audience. Maybe not actor Allan, I don't know. But I feel like it is something that to consider it from the creative perspective, right? Like, sometimes you do think about how people are going to consume what you're making. But I guess from an acting perspective, Is it similar to Joséphine? You're just kind of not really thinking about that?
Well, so respect the audience.
Yep.
Well, actor, you can't think about it.
No.
Totally agree. It's death. You just put yourself into, you can't be free and be worrying about what people think of your hair or whatever. And then but from a storytelling perspective, you'd be chasing your tail if you're trying to please an audience. So you can't do that because you can't create something, you have no idea how it's going to be received. You can only follow the things you know as a professional. There are, there are rules and there's plot and there is, and there's instinct and there is what's your story you're trying to tell. It's the best, and it's not just you, there's a collaboration with a group of people. I have a writing partner and, a show running partner, and we both have our different perspective on what that is. We have a director. Neither of us direct a show, so we have a different director who comes in and brings their perspective. Then we have partners with the network. We have partners with our distribution. We have, actors come in and with their perspective, a cinematographer, So it's super collaborative. There needs to be a vision, but you can't try to chase what you think an audience wants, because that's where you end up with I think something that doesn't feel rooted. And, maybe people know how to do that. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
You just kind of go with what your instincts are, what you know as a professional, and then you try to tell the best story you can tell.
No,
plot,
absolutely.
I think is plot and structure, I think, is what drives it. And then it's character and the things you love and the things you'd want to see and the situations you think would be interesting for people to experience others in, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could talk.
No, for sure. Totally. So well said. And I can't wait for people to see season 2 of Saint-Pierre in the new year in January on CBC. Joséphine, Allan, great to chat with you both. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
It's always so good to talk to you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.